Well, hello, everybody. I'm back. It's Friday morning, evening, depending on where you are joining in from. I'm Leon, in case you don't know. Industry veteran, as they call it, 20 years in this month. Happy birthday or happy anniversary, me. And you're watching Black Game Pro Sessions. What is Black Game Pro Sessions, you might ask, if this is your first time? First of all, if it's your first time, welcome. Hello. Thank you for joining. It's going to be so much fun today. Black Game Pro Sessions, it's all about creating a platform for the amazing people in the gaming, tech, and entertainment industry to share their stories, of come up, share their stories of how they got where they are, and hopefully through that inspire you all and myself to just, well, not per se with a specific goal, but just to get inspired and to show that there's people out there doing amazing things, show that there's stories out there that can inspire, but also show that there's people out there that look like you, that are doing amazing things, that you can reach out to if you have any questions, that you can ask any questions to here on the chat. Speaking of which, we already have some comments in the chat. Hello, Mark, former guest, Mark Fraser, and hello, Mia. Mia, first of all, thank you so much, because Mia is the one that is responsible, for today's guest. Let me dive right into it, because we have a lot to talk about. So I wrote it down. Yeah, I want to make sure that I do it well. Yeah, I need to make sure that we introduce the guest properly. Going through some stuff. All right. So today's guest, REL Hunt, the creative leader who has spent more than a decade working at the intersection of games, entertainment, and fandom. During her time as Senior Director of Global Creative at 2K, REL led multidisciplinary teams and helped develop player-first creative design to connect games with culture and build lasting communities around them. Now, her wider body of work has also touched major titles and entertainment properties, including League of Legends, Valorant, Arcane. So today, we will explore her creative journey, the realities of leadership, the difference between mentorship and genuine sponsorship, and the role community plays in helping us navigate pressure, uncertainty, and growth. Now, we will also talk about representation, not only as being invited into the room, but as continuing to show up, contribute, and make that presence feel normal for the people coming behind us. So, REL, welcome to Black Game Pro Sessions. I'm super happy to have you here, so let me bring you on stage. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Leon. Congratulations on your 20 years.
20 years. Time flies when you're having fun. When you're in the industry doing your thing.
Hell yeah, it does, actually. Actually, it does. And you look down and all of a sudden you have a patch of gray hair all over the place.
How long have you been in the industry so far? When is your 20th anniversary coming up?
When is I think I have some time still, but actually not that much, I don't think. Like, if I left Riot and it was telling me it was like 12 years on LinkedIn, then probably like 8 more before I get to be a big dog like you.
Like fully gray, yeah.
Fully gray. I'm probably gonna have my own podcast as well. Maybe we'll do like a side thing or something of the sort, you know?
Yeah, that would be fun. And hello, Jalen. Thanks for joining. And thank Mark for the anniversary wishes. Much appreciated. All right, I wanted to dive right into it because Senior Director Creative at 2K. Like that sounds very impressive. What does that mean for the people that don't know? I mean, what does that entail? And we're gonna get into how you got there and all the cool things that you've been working on and all the new things that you are working on as well. But first of all, tell us.
Yeah, I think outside of senior director, I would just start with creative director, right? I think necessarily our job is to think of creative, sell people on creative, convince people to partner in making creative, right? Kind of like staying at the tip of the spear, right? Funding creative, and then having your neck on the line if that creative like doesn't do well, or if it does pop off, right? When you put the senior director next to that, that just basically means that you are thinking of that at maybe the higher level, right? Like it's not just yourself in the creative guys, but potentially you are managing a level of other directors. You are thinking of the strategy for which that is like the upper level of selling that thing through, right? You're building potentially the organization and the craft itself for whatever environment that you're kind of looking to be in relation to the product that you're looking to push out. So it's just a bunch of hooba-jooba way of basically saying that you're further away from the craft. You're getting really less tactical. But actually the nice thing with 2K and some of my journey is that I've been able to still remain close to the work, which I think is a lot of what creatives love to do, right? And it's kind of that push and pull when you start getting a little higher, when you start getting those directors, when senior starts coming in, you're moving away from the work, from the really cool stuff, from the people, from the hot fire, right? And more so having to deal with other nerds like yourself and trying to figure out budgets and all that other jazz.
Well, the most interesting parts of the creative process are the budgets and PowerPoint presentations and justification. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like why? Because we think it's gonna look cool.
Yeah, but no one wants that though. You have to like give them the why. Like
exactly. I know.
The da right.
Exactly. I read in this book. That's such and such.
My favorite thing was I knew this creative director a couple of years ago, and he would literally like. We would start building. Of course, you want to have like your brand insights, and then you want to have like the creative insight. Where are you getting the goal to do the thing that you're asking to do, right? And so he would literally just take a quote from a creator, a blah, 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 like something, and like that would be his insight. It would just be the quote. It would be all like, oh my God, I love TJ Maxx. And he'd be all like, and so this is the reason why we're partnering with TJ Maxx at this big ass scale, right? And I'm all like, all right, Gigi, what works for you, my guy?
Slick, very slick.
I was like, I love it. Insights can come from anywhere.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
You just have to cite it. That's it.
That's the sign of a true creative. Insights can come from anywhere, right?
Oh yeah. I was all like, you know what? Work smarter, not harder.
Indeed. All right. So going back, like back in the days before your 2K days, before the senior director, like how did you get into this? I mean, it's always a big question from people. I mean, I know there's some people watching as well that are trying to get into the industry. Like, what was your process? I mean, before gaming, what did you think you were going to do?
Yeah, before gaming, I thought I was going to be an engineer working for like the government of California in like their environmental service because that's what my degree was in. And after I spent a summer with, was it LADPW? Could I be butchering that? I don't know. I spent a summer doing like actual engineer things, and I realized that I was like, oh, there's not really much to this. I wonder if I can go chase my dream, right? I wonder if I can figure out like how to get into games. And at that time, I wanted to be a key artist. Like I wanted to make the cover and pamphlet great again. And like that was my whole entire shtick was like, yo, let's try to do this. I realized soon enough, I did not know how to illustrate worth a damn. That is just not my gift, but graphic design was one of my partial gifts. And even though my professors at college basically said I was a blight to the industry and I would never get a job, shout out to you, Saritaka and Paul Miyamoto.
But they told you that.
Yeah, they basically said that to me when I was in class, which is basically like that's the story, right? It's always kind of like someone has said something very curious to me, and then it was all like, "Oh,
I'll show you.
I can't do like don't tell me I can't do something. I'll figure it out." I had no clue how to figure it out then, but that's basically it. Journey is a series of like, I say like a quizzical fails and some ups and all that other jazz. Like it is a journey, and I found my way in here through, which I would say to anybody who was trying to get into it, I found it through contracting, right? I was able to get in through a staffing agency who was just trying to get into games and like figure it out. And I was one of their first people who cited gaming as a place for to go. And I got staffed at Riot Games, and fortunately enough, I wasn't too bad. I was able to kind of stick around for a couple of years, and basically that's it. Like, there's nothing before Riot, unfortunately. It was just me trying to figure out how to get into the industry.
But that was the goal. You wanted to get into gaming.
That was the goal. Is to get into gaming and to figure out like where I could sit, right? Like, I have so many skills, and the only skills I had at the time was graphic design. So I found out about like visual design. You have to have brands, you have to have all that stuff. But I didn't feel as though my portfolio was really good because I didn't have anything that was like what I thought was quality and of level to be in there. So a lot of my jobs beforehand were kind of working with anybody and everybody who would allow me to design for them. Like, I would just hit up people for brands that I really liked at the time. And then some of them would take some, meetings with me as jokes, but then all of a sudden I ended up working with them. So I don't know, it was
jokes on them.
Jokes on them, but those are really cool guys. They're actually still around in the industry, which is really amazing to kind of see. And when our paths crossed, I was all like,
do you still have some of that early work?
Yeah, girl, but I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people don't archive. They're like, not a
yes. After my recent move, I still have the stuff. I keep some things just so it keeps you humble. It truly keeps you humble. Like, even some in college, I was all like, I was like, sensibilities definitely do change. Because I remember, you remember just making shit and thinking you were just hot shit. Look at that.
Dude,
look at this design.
I remember the first poster that I ever designed for one of my R&B hip hop parties when I was 18 years old, and I have it framed. So every now and then I look at it and I'm like, oh my god! And like the way that I like cut Cisco's head, like angular, like how like what was I thinking?
You were like, Picasso could never.
Exactly, that's one way of looking at it.
No, I totally feel you. I feel like there's stuff where I was all like, I'm going to print this out. I'm going to make it into a magazine, and I'm going to ship this thing, and I'm going to frame it and do all this other stuff. And I'll find the things, and I'll be like, girl, joke's on you, my guy.
No, but I mean, it does show that you already have like this entrepreneurial kind of like, I want to go do things kind of spirit. The fact that you reached out to people and like actively being like, hey, I mean, I can design some cool shit. Do you need any help? I mean, that's already something. I mean, did you know at that time already that there was this gaming industry that you can become a part of?
I did. I was aware, but not aware of the actual many ways to kind of like get in. And to be truthfully honest, like, I think now, which I'm glad we've had this conversation, I think now when people are like, how do I get into games? It's like a duh moment. Like, in me, I'm like, well, duh, of course it's this way, right? But as I'm thinking through it now, I was like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know who to call, where to go, what careers page to kind of be on. Like, I knew the IP, but things weren't like necessarily clicking for me, which, don't get me wrong, my friend tells me all the time, I'm very slow to the uptake on certain things, but it felt very much like a wall I didn't know how to climb, and people I would have to talk to, but you kind of want something from them, but you don't want to say you want something from them. Then what do you have to do to be charming for them to give you the thing that you want? I'm not necessarily super charming. Don't get me wrong. I have nice teeth, but still, I was
very
just
charming. Come on now, super charming.
Get to know me, you'll find out my personality is very great. Mia can sing in chat. That's self-awareness though. So I think back and I'm all like, yeah, no, I didn't know. I didn't understand what I was doing, other than I was just shooting all over the place through the resources that I had, Craigslist, friends of friends, and then just taking hopes on Facebook. Like, the people that I reached out on who it was a joke for them to take the meeting with me, I messaged them on Facebook. I guess that makes me real.
No, I mean, that makes you persistent. I mean, that makes you like you had a goal and you wanted to get there. And what's the expression, like closed mouth don't get fed?
Yeah, closed mouth don't get fed. True. And then also having your mother constantly see you in the same position when she gets home from her job is not cute. You start to be all like, yeah, maybe I need to go do something with my life. Like, I'll go work at Bonds. You know what I say? I'll do anything to make sure that I'm not home when she's home in the same position.
Mm-hmm. So what was your mother's opinion regarding like the industry, the gaming industry? Was she like, nah, you should not do that. You should focus on your engineering thing, or was she supportive in that?
Very supportive. I think, well, also my mother worked at like Sony. She worked at
Okay.
like she was very much in the entertainment field. So the idea of games, even though she never worked in the industry per se, like she worked at Sony, but she was working on the other side of it, right?
Mhm.
The idea of games wasn't something where she was all like, "Oh, I don't get it." Like she get it, she got it. Like she was the one who actually turned me into like a Sega gamer. You know what I'm saying? Like she gave me my first consoles. So she was definitely into it. From her perspective, it was more so being on like, well, how do we get you into it, right? Like, what are the things
Mhm.
that we need to do? So that's kind of like where a lot of my spitballing was happening because she was in HR, right? So all of the things that I was doing was
Ah.
because I kind of saw her as that template, and I kind of understood that these things existed to try to figure out how to just push myself through, right? And had her go through my resume and all that other jazz. So she was very supportive of it. I think she didn't think I was going to be in gaming as long as I did. It was very funny. I think after a couple of years at like Riot, and don't get me wrong, I went through a lot of shit at Riot. I think great time, but it was a journey. I think she was kind of just like, I can't believe you're just still here. You know what I'm saying? That you haven't like gone somewhere else or done something else. Like I can't believe that you're just still, in games, and like
Mhm.
still working on the same game and all that other stuff. So I think it kind of blew her mind. But when she came to the campus the one time, she was all like, "Oh, I see how you're still here." Thank you. Of course you're still here.
So take me back to that first day that you entered the Riot campus and officially became part of the industry. What was that like? I mean, something that you've like been working towards or fighting for so long, and now you're there. You're part of it. You're part of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I definitely didn't take it in. I met the receptionist who's like my bestie to this day, but oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I felt like she hated me. So it was a very interesting thing because I was there so early. I was there at like 6 a.m. or something
Oh
like that.
wow.
Which of course, gamer hours are not that. That wasn't even the company hours. I was just there.
Hmm.
I didn't know where I was supposed to go. So I was just kind of puttering around in the lobby, kind of looking like lost. And then my friend now was like, who is this chick and like what is she doing? And then
Hmm.
finally I found the manager who's taking who is responsible for me and all the other jazz. So like the day was like interesting and really cool, and I found a lot of people for which like those first interactions I've had have still like they're still here in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that to me is actually quite funny and really charming about kind of coming into your first industry, coming into your first job, and being able to kind of keep that. And maybe that's the reason why I don't put a lot on that first day, or maybe I'm trash and I just can't remember my own feelings as it was going. But I felt very nervous. I was in a fucking suit, like
Oh
looked
wow.
like it was basically on some just like, oh yeah, I don't have to do all of it. Like, I don't have to be here super early. I don't have to be wearing a blazer and like something else, right? My other homie was also in a low key blazer too. Like, we were just like sitting here and everyone's in their like shirts and shit.
Uh-huh.
The next day, of course, we came in shirts and shit. But yeah, it was funny. It was funny, probably illuminating, a lot of
Mhm.
deer in headlights, and then probably like this underlying pressure of like, oh snap, like sitting next across from like the senior visual designers at the time and seeing them work on events. And even my homie who I came in with, she's a phenomenal illustrator, and she was so ahead on like design, and she was very principled as well. And it kind of just to me spotlighted a lot of like, oh, my deficiencies and the delta that I needed to kind of like get over. You know what I'm saying? To even feel as though I'm on par with literally just the three people who are sitting in my line right now.
Mhm.
So I feel like it was a growing amount of like pressure. It was still fun, and it's not bad to have pressure, right? But
Pressure
it was
can be good.
exactly. And I think for visual design, I feel like a lot of my time in visual design was me trying to prove something that I was able to design, that I was capable of doing it, and that
Mhm.
I could do it like everyone here, and I could also potentially do it like the best of them. I think creative direction is where I felt freedom.
So I mean, what was the first project that you worked on when you got into Riot? Do you still remember?
Oh yeah, actually, I think I do. This is when the LCS was becoming official with like a website, and it was turning into like NALCS and EULCS, and they were
Mhm.
doing the whole like rollout, all that other jazz. I was the production artist at the time who literally had to do paint overs on all of the pro images to get them uploaded to the website, and then manage the like the little key art images that would come into the client. We would have vendors do it, and then I would have to like make it better or make it good to go into the client or whatever, right? That's how it works when you have vendors, when you're trying to onboard them. But that was like my job. My job was like that lolesports.com and then those assets that were kind of going up there. And I remember painting those players' faces to hell. I made one of them look like a baby. It was very funny.
You need to have fun with it, because otherwise it can probably become rather boring if you have to do like the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Dude, I think that's where, I'm sorry to cut you off. I didn't mean to.
No, by all means.
I was saying, I was like, that's where the parasocial feeling came like in a max, because when you would see them at the esports, like go to a game, it's like, oh,
I know you. I've been working on your face for the last 6 months.
Exactly, right? I've cut you out on so many images, you know what I mean? Like, this is when before they were doing like the crazy photo shoots and all the other jazz, you were getting team images kind of sit in, and you had to make them feel uniform and figure out what the uniform was going to be across the board for that. So it's just all like, oh yeah, that was an interesting first job.
So how did you kind of like fill in the delta, the gap of knowledge that you felt that you were missing? Did you have like internal mentors? Did you read up? Did you watch YouTube videos? What was your process?
All of the above, and it probably went for many years. Like, it didn't happen overnight, right? I think it was a lot of time spent just designing, period. Like, just designing to my own whims or to the things that I kind of like saw out there in the world. It was a lot of coaching and a lot of staying under people's like asses. Like, I became literally a thorn in a couple of people and senior designers' booties of just kind of like understanding and seeing and trying to take in, and be all like, okay, well, this is what they think quality is. Then let me figure out how to match it like for myself, right? Then I think I got proper mentorship. That didn't necessarily like, my proper mentorship didn't come until, I would say, like a very long time, to be truthfully honest. And by that time, I was already starting to have my own pen, like understanding how it is I liked to design, what I was doing. And because I was taking the work in the department and the work that I was seeing as like my benchmarks, if I was able to duplicate that type of stuff and then able to regurgitate it through the work that I was doing, I was able to kind of figure out where I was landing as just an artist or just someone who was like a visual designer, right? But I ended up getting this manager who was very, very like particular, like, and he actually invested inside of me. And so I got like a second education to where he was all like, I want you reading these books. I want you doing these like projects. I want you to blah, blah, blah. And like, that's kind of where I got this second like level of like, oh, I now have that like foundational understanding. So when I'm naturally breaking something and like I'm being asked why I'm breaking it, it's just because at the time I was like, I don't know, it just felt right, right? But now that I had that like education, it was more so like, oh, I'm breaking it because the layout is blah, 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 and it's in a like that type of shit, right? Like, I'm able to articulate now why I'm doing it, which is basically what design is, right? And what we tell everybody when we're coming in is you need to be able to articulate why you're making those decisions, even if they look like booty decisions, right?
Do you still remember that first moment when it clicked, when you had that foundational additional knowledge and you had to like, you were in a meeting and you had to explain a creative decision that you made, and you're like, I have this knowledge now, level unlocked?
I don't think I had a moment like that per se where I was all like, ooh, I feel like good. But I can reflect back on, look, creative is a blood sport. You know what I'm saying? Being an artist is, you know, it's very subjective, and it's picking and choosing when you're fighting, you know, for something, right? And I think as you're coming up, you're learning that maybe there are not fights in a lot of places. And so I think in those fights, and I'm saying it like this, fights, these aren't really.
No, of course. It's like a beat down or something.
Push the direction, and you're trying to be all like, hey man, like, let's not be safe, let's do it this way. Or maybe we do need to be conservative now, blah, blah, blah. I think how I was expressing those things was starting to be more articulate than what I was doing beforehand. And then I think I gradually started to see that, and my boss at the time was like making note of being all like, you have changed how you came in and how you were speaking to stuff. And now there is like a confidence for which you are now, you know, articulating your work against. And I think that's probably in the moment of being like, oh, okay, yeah, it was starting to come together. I was starting to understand more of myself.
What did that feel like? That compliment. It's like, oh, they now indeed they have the confidence, and now it's like, it's for real, for real.
Probably nothing, to be truthfully honest.
But it's good. No pressure.
Like not in a bad way, but because when he said that to me, I probably was in a fight of my life of trying to make it right, like a chip in my shoulder, me trying to do something. So him saying that to me, probably I did not receive it in a way of, not in a bad way, but I didn't take any stock on it. I was all like glaze, because at the time I was all like, oh, I know I'm your favorite. No disrespect, right? I was all like, I know you like me. I know we have a really good thing. Like, you are still my mentor boss to this day, right? Like this day right now. So I'm all like, I know you love me, like, and adore me and all that other shit. So anything you say that's positive is just glaze. Like, I don't listen to you anymore, right? And so like I only listen when it's like actual criticism on what I need to do, right? So at that time I could totally see myself just being all like, whatever, bro, like glaze, like what's the issue?
I mean, maybe a weird question, but how do you know that you're good at what you do? Is that something that you just feel or know, or was it because of external compliments, or is it an internal confidence that you already have? Like, no, what I'm creating here it's good.
I don't think there's two wolves inside of me. There is my internal hubris, for which is an egomaniac. She's the worst. And I don't ever, if ever, bring her to any office space. Like, only people who are close to me know the monster that lays inside of me, and somewhat maniac who's there. And that person is really confident. She's delusionally confident, right? I could be so wrong, but I'm 20 toes wrong on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the type of person who is like, for the plot and for the measure, like, because I thought it, like, that is my internal beast that I keep hidden, tucked away. And their confidence comes from just my own delusion in myself. When I think about my public confidence, and this is also very true too, it's not like I'm putting on a mask or anything of the sort. It's kind of like, well, I don't feel like I've earned that capacity to show that monster yet, or to be to kind of present in a way that feels maybe more overt confident, because I myself may feel as though the work wasn't hitting on something, and I'm always critiquing things. So like, I don't think, yes, I know I have a confidence in something. I feel confident as a creative. I feel confident as like doing things and kind of putting things together, but to be overtly confident about it, or to be like, ooh, she's something, like, look at her, not to come from like a humble perspective. I feel like I would need safety in order to do that. And I would need like actual metrics, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that external thing. So it's like, if I was to go crazy and someone would be all like, yo, she's kind of the worst person, they would have to be all like, but those numbers though, you know what I'm saying? Or like how they, like, there's a thing to kind of support it. And so when I don't have those things, I'm kind of just all like, no, it's fine. It did what it did. If you're happy, I'm happy.
But it's good to kind of like have that like split personality. Or on one end, you're like Mia said, you're Delulu, and the other end, you're like, you're keeping it real. There's a question from Jay. Long question, so I'm put it in the chat. As someone hoping to build a long-term career in gaming, is there any insight you can share about 2K's application process for candidates who bring strong marketing experience but are new to the industry? Breaking into gaming feels impossible in 2026.
That 2026 is probably going to be the biggest thing, right? And the biggest condition. I don't necessarily think it's about skill, like your skill, because even you writing that statement sounds as though you would be a candidate for many things, right? But because of the conditions of where we're seeing the industry right now, right, and these incoming economic conditions, there's just so much. There is just so much, and even having conversations with my friends who are still on the market or who are looking about thinking, and even just trying to get their resumes through. And I'm talking about people with 10 plus years of like more years of experience at higher levels doing things, who are not even getting calls back, or getting resumes looked at. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't think there is any trick to the process. You know what I'm saying? I think the process is still the same. And this is just me foolishly coming from my own experiences that I've seen, right? But it does feel as though having those connections are going to be quite vital, right? And continuing to kind of like have to, if you're in marketing, you should be very personable and wanting to be an extrovert that way. But for some of us who do not like talking to other people ever, having to kind of step out and like keep in contact with the people you have, like continue to, you know, hit up the HR person who's on, you know, that rec or something of the sort, right? Like once you get that leg in, you're following back up. Like it is that sideline chase and work that is potentially going to net over and actually having to continue to be consistent at it. So I don't know if that helps at all. I feel like that doesn't. I feel like it's a placation like type deal, because again, what you're saying doesn't feel as though you're short the craft experience. And even now with games, I think people are broadly more open to accepting other industries, especially in adjacent industries. If you have the craft and you are good at marketing, if you have empathy for games or just an understanding, then yeah, you can work in games, because at the end of the day, I would want someone who's really good at marketing and to bring another perspective to what we're potentially doing here. So I don't think that would also be a blocker to where I feel like it could have been back in the day.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for example, what I see here in Europe, where Ubisoft and some of the other companies that have let go a lot of people and now kind of like are sub-replacing some of them, is that they're looking not per se in the pool of people that are already in the industry. They're looking at fresh new perspectives from the broader entertainment or starters just to get this new perspective. So I think for Jalen, I think there's indeed, like REL said, connect with people, stay connected, but also don't lose hope, because where there's a will, there's a way. I believe. Maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm definitely naive sometimes, but
I plus 1,000 that. Like my boss, who I'm talking about in this way, who was one of my like canon experiences for bosses, he applied to my former employer, I think 3 or 4 times before he even got in, and like he's an accredited like marketing creative director. You know what I'm saying? He has awards type stuff, and it took him so many reps before he got the actual call to be in there. And I actually know a couple of other stories like that as well. And it's the persistence, to apply more than once means that you really, really liked to do something, right? And I even feel like people were all like, I just did it on a whim, whatever, but it was that one other experience you got that kind of put you over the board, right? So.
These are interesting times in general, I think, to be trying to get into the industry. But, where there's movement, there's always opportunity. But once again, I might be wrong with that.
No, I think games are still fun and still highly opportunistic. So I'd still love that we are also seeing a lot of new creative shit coming in. We're seeing a lot of challenging things that are challenging the status norm coming in. And it's a breath of fresh air, right? And even in the traditional senses, it's like, okay, great. You want to work at 2K? That's amazing. There's that other product that just released out that is like the street equivalency to stuff, like finding your into potentially the other people who are trying to kind of like bite at the king is also an opportunistic space, because it's potentially a smaller team, which means you will get to wear many hats and have bigger opportunity. Your skill sets kind of grow, right? You have an understanding of the other audience that is looking to you. Like it kind of starts shaping you in a different way, to where it's all like, oh, when the big dogs are opened up, it's kind of like, oh, but look at this guy who was over here, like.
And who's been doing everything already. So
exactly. It's a cool story.
Jack of all trades kind of stuff. So back to your Riot early days, you were doing your thing, you were killing it, you were the favorite of your manager. What happened afterwards? I mean, people would think that, okay, if you're your favorite, you're killing it, you get promoted. And you get promoted again, and you get promoted. What was the process?
I think my time, and me being my favorite, my manager, I say that,
I know.
This is being recorded, but I still say that.
You were the best employee he ever had and ever will have.
I was the best REL, so you have a better REL than me, for worse or for better. What happened after that? I actually think at that time period, I feel as though, and this is just my feeling at the time, that it felt like I had a nice little lick, right? Like I was starting to have scope increase. This was at the time where they were putting the S in games. And so new IPs were coming out like Valorant, TFT, Legends of Runeterra. And so being able to kind of flex across in different spaces was really cool. And I ended up finding my home in Valorant, which was really dope because I love shooters, and I also love the aesthetic that it was kind of like coming under too. It felt natural, and this was also when I kind of made this change from being a designer, like a visual designer, into creative direction itself, right? And that's when I told you, like, it felt freeing to me. Like, it felt I was at home. I had pressures when I was a designer because I felt like I was always trying to like chase and be good. But as a creative director, and maybe because I was short examples of like creative direction, and there was a lot of naivety I was having coming into the discipline itself, but it felt like, and it still continues to feel like, exactly what I like to do in my favorite shit to geek out on, which is like plotting and scheming and like insights, drawing up a plan and trying to get it to like, that is like the shit, right? Like, and I think as a visual designer, it was very like pointed at one moment, and it was like, oh, I get to think about the full thing, you know? And that was very enticing to me. And it made me kind of be like, oh, there's no ego in the game. I'm now learning, you know? So I felt very free of like taking in all the things, being willing to like break shit and do stupid shit or, you know, fail. Like, it didn't feel like failure to me because it felt like it was all inputs for me to kind of figure out what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. And as I was doing with design, trying to figure out who I was there, trying to figure out what type of creative director I was or what type of creative I am to not just this organization, but just to the world in general. So I found my time after him to be nice, to be truthfully honest. I felt as though I was starting to kind of get, you know, solid visibility. I felt as though that my reputation was still being known as kind of like a trusted person to bring into a team, and potentially someone to do something a little spicy with, right? And capable of kind of like, despite anything, a timeline or whatever, she'll get it across the board and she'll get it at quality or above quality, right? And I think those things at the time were things that I really started to kind of hitch my wagon on and start to build a little bit of my own like worth around, which was like, yeah, I'm capable of working in gray spaces. I'm capable of taking something and like pushing something through and like getting it done, right? So for that time and how I was leaving out Riot, I felt like, GG. Like I did what I was supposed to be doing.
All right. A question from Mark. So what outside creative influences do you draw upon to refill your creative toolkit? How do you stay inspired?
Oh, well, I just watched the most inspirational heroes there are in this world, which are drag queens. Those are my favorite. I love watching anything. It's funny because you said creative influences, how not to like, what are the other things outside of it? I was like, oh, I'm always watching other creative people do creative things, right? And if I'm not doing that, then I'm literally just binging Bravo. Like I'm binging like culture. And I say culture with just like a capital C, not just, you know, to Black culture, but to all cultures, right? And like figuring out, but I do love like, I just love schlop. I love stuff that's like really calibrated to me being a millennial, a Black woman millennial. I love like being on the gaze of like what everything's doing, like being in that mainstream and just kind of like, I'm usually last, but like seeing that type of stuff too. I'm going to be honest, I'm not the type of person who goes to museums. I'm not necessarily a person who is like super well traveled or like finds inspiration in like architecture and all those other things, right? I think I'm just kind of ingesting and kind of innately just moving through the world and responding. And I also think that's probably something that I'm also trying to like grapple with too. I don't think I fully understand myself as like a creative yet. And I also don't know how I get inspired by anything outside of like finding a way. Like someone could be all like, oh, I'm trying to figure out what is a point that we can look at when someone wants to convert from just looking at something to actually buying a game. And I'm all like, oh, what is that? What the fuck is that? You know, and then I'll start to go down holes and rabbits and trying to figure, you know, things out. So I think I'm feeling very reactive at this moment in time to where if there's an interesting, you know, question being brought, then I'm seeking answers. And those answers aren't necessarily inside of the space. They can be taken from other places to try to inform what that answer could be. I don't know.
That makes sense.
I feel like it's just a me going around the bush of being all like,
no, but it makes sense because I mean it is your job. But do you still have time to be proactively creative? Do you have like pet projects that you work on, stuff that you create, art?
I haven't done shit, bro. I used to do so much shit. Literally back in the day, I used to do so much shit. Everybody was trying to make a fucking line of clothing. Of course, I was trying to make a line of clothing. Like, trying to do consulting services. Of course, I was trying to do consulting services. I think for good or for bad, and it works for me. So that's what I'm just going to throw out there. Like, I've made my job my like personality, and I'm not angry at that by any stretch of the word. I want to be good at my job. I want to be good at this craft. I want to be good, really, really good. And so I don't do a lot of things. I have like a little 3D printer that I really want to use to make little statues of shit, so I don't have to buy things anymore. And yet I haven't yet to crack it open, and it's been sitting here for months.
So today's mission: open the box, create some cool stuff, print some cool stuff, or print some ugly stuff.
It would be ugly stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it would be ugly stuff.
Yeah,
but I should do it. I've been saying that ever since. It just stares at me, and it's all like, when are you going to use me? And I was like, that is so effing true. When am I going to use
you? I mean, if I would have like a 3D printer, I would be printing all the time. Like,
that's what you say, Leon. And then all of a sudden,
I know.
Tired.
Like, can't be bothered. I have to buy the filaments, and what color? Oh God.
I got to catch up on Summer House. Like, fucking Widow's Bay is on.
It's like priorities. It's like 3D print or zone out and watch them fly
for the 16th bajillion time.
Wow. Yes. So you wanted to create your own fashion line back in the days.
Oh yeah.
I think we've all been there. I've been there too.
Everybody wanted to do that shit, and I'm not even gonna go as far to be all like fashion. It wasn't. It was t-shirts. Like, I just liked graphics, and I wanted to wear stuff like, I told you, I am an egotistical creative. So if I'm going to wear or have art or do stuff, it's usually going to be of like a heavy interest of mine, or it's going to be of like me. Like, it's going to be my shit, And I was at that point in time where I was like, it has to be my shit.
Yeah, of course. I only wear my own shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm cool. I'll go get some really cool shirts and walk around with like a scorpion on my shirt because it's cool.
Oh yeah. So going back to the career, creative director. So you had a team to work with. You were kind of like the orchestrator of chaos.
We were. It depends on what point in time, but actually I would say all points in time for when I was in Valorant, when I went onto the music team, there was always just a little motley crew of us. When I was in Valorant, one of my favorite, moments in time was when it was like me, this brand manager, and this producer, and we literally were like, we didn't have the jobs to do it. We were kind of filling in, but we're like, you know what? We're going to make it really hard for when they replace us, for those other people to kind of like destroy what we do in like one season, and we ended up getting the jobs for the task. And that was a really fun time, like working with them. And that's where I started to get some more insights into like brand and how that works, and how a creative and a brand person needs to kind of function together. And then how that works with production and making sure we're, sourcing stuff. And it really felt like we were a really nice unit that was like really able to like be in this really cool slipstream. We all owned our things, and it took us a minute to get there, to be truthfully honest. There was a very strong storming form for us. But once we got past that, it was really nice. And I think we all think about it in like that way. Like, once we got past it, I think if one of us brings up, you remember when you two were fighting over blah, 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 we'll be like, oh yeah, I hated you.
There's a thin line between love and hate anyway, right? So, and sometimes when there's passion involved, the most beautiful things can be created, or the most ugly things.
Yeah, true. But even in ugliness, there's beauty.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, look at me. I mean, shit.
This guy.
You're like ugly. We have another question from Jemmy. What are your thoughts on Wonder Man and Blade being canceled? That's a very specific question.
I'm wearing a Blade right now.
Oh, there you go. I see half of Wesley's forehead.
It's like widow's peak. I mean, are you trying to get me canceled? I mean, I'm sad. I'm sad at the situation, but I actually have stronger positive opinions on the whole entire thing. Less on Wonder Man, because I'm not hip to the hop on that particular like IP. But Blade is like, that's my shit down. And I even stand with Blade 3. So like, that's how deep I'm willing to go into that. I'm sad for the game. I'm sad for the movie adaptation, because I just love Blade, and I think Blade's really awesome.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch the movie after this, to be truthfully honest. Yeah,
what was the famous quote of the movie? Some motherfuckers always try to ice skate uphill.
yeah. There's just some
what does that even mean?
Dude, there's just some iconic scenes in there. Like the fucking soundtrack is crazy good.
Oh yeah.
Like Wesley is so like, it's just so evocative of it. Like it's quintessential great shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
100%.
It's not camp, but I think it just does. Hey, we're just a fucking action movie. You know what I'm saying? We're an action movie about vampire slayers. Like that's it. That's all we're doing out in the streets. And I just love it like that.
I mean, yeah, man, that was a great movie. Hey, more questions. Question time. Thank you for the insight. Currently looking for the sideline in 2K's social marketing area. What is the best way to compete with experience? Mr. Leon. Oh, wow. Mr. Leon suggested building community, but what does that need to look like in presentation? I'll put it back on the, here you go.
What was the best way to compete with experience?
The experience. Personality.
I mean, I guess that I'm going to be honest. I am not clear on, because this isn't my lane of where I work in, clear on what type of portfolio or what type of metrics and, you know, what is expected when you are looking for, because now it looks like we're saying marketing area, but also social in some level too.
Social marketing area.
You were saying personality coming into play, but how do you show that personality? It would probably have to be with.
I mean, if you want to work in marketing and socials, I mean, create your own things. I mean, even if it's like create a small channel, create an Instagram page, create a TikTok, create something to show that you are out there, even if you only have 2 viewers per episode. You know, at least it shows consistency. It can create a portfolio, even if the portfolio isn't really seen by anyone. It shows that, okay, this is someone that's passionate about whatever he or she is doing, and that might translate into the specific job opening that we have.
That part. And Leon, you know this the best with your history and how you even got into like.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when but that was 20 years ago. I mean, when I applied, I mean, I didn't have the marketing degree that they were asking for. I mean, I didn't come from gaming. They wanted to have a product manager that like knew all the marketing terminology, which I didn't know, but I had created my own platform before that had nothing to do with gaming. So I had something to show like, hey, I can create something out of nothing. And I think that's the main thing. People want, when you hire someone, you want to make sure that that person does what he or she needs to do. That's the main thing. And that at the same time, that person is also not a complete asshole. That also helps. So I think if you know, especially if you want to work in marketing or it's like public facing or social media kind of thing, well, I mean, create stuff and use that as your portfolio. And indeed, when you are in a position to network with people, I mean, do that as much as possible without asking for stuff. Not the transactional networking, just to be like, hey, like you did with me, Jalen, for example. You reached out and be like, hey, I like what you're doing, want to connect. Sure, boom, here you go. Here we are. That was me rambling. Sorry. I'm sorry.
That felt right and in the pocket, to be truthfully honest.
Oh,
I think the only thing where I might say like suggested building community, what does that need to look like in presentation? I don't necessarily think, and this is just me being foolish, so please correct me if I'm wrong here, the guests in the space. I don't think there has to be a presentation of that community, right? But more so that community can kind of show up for you in being, as you're talking about building other platforms, people who you're connecting with, right? Like building little groups, like on future level type situations where it could be a ragtag of you who do stuff and you're, feeding and bouncing, but you all individually have your things, right? Those are things that I feel like they just kind of innately kind of come up in the conversation. They innately come in how you are in the position to kind of talk through the work, or if you're in the space to kind of present through that, right? Versus you kind of going to a recruiter, a moment in time and being on like, and I have community. It's kind of like, okay, great, Jan. I'm glad you have community. It's great.
Yeah, they don't care. No, but it's indeed finding your tribe, and I think it's a community of peers that you can, that you can connect with and spar with, and it doesn't per se don't need to be like, these are my friends. No, it's more of a, they can help you further fine tune whatever skill that you're working on, especially if you're surrounded by people that are doing a similar kind of thing or have a similar kind of passion. Then that's how I meant community in that sense. Not that you need to all wear the same jackets and then show up as an entourage and an interview, even though that could be fun. I did that. I did that once. Didn't work out well. Don't roll up to any like business meetings with an entourage. Doesn't work. I was trying to live like the hip hop life. You know, I was like, oh, like, if the rappers can do it, so can I. Like, no.
You know what? I would have potentially gave you points for doing it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know what?
Yeah, well, nah. You know, I mean, it's a little flashback. So back in the days, I had a hip hop TV show on MTV. And we had like a meeting with a sponsor. I'm not gonna name the big brand, it was a huge brand, and we kind of rolled up with a posse of thugs, like all smoked out, like smoke clouds surrounding us, walking into like a corporate building. That was the shortest meeting we ever had.
Yeah.
So now like in hindsight, now I'm part of corporate. I understand. I would be entertained by that, but at the same time, I would be like, "Oh my fucking god, like, no."
More questions than you have answers.
Exactly.
And that's living. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes, it's that's definitely living, and it makes me feel something.
Let your community be in the car, not necessarily in the room with you.
Exactly. Like they can be in the back of your head. Exactly. It's to keep your community in the car. Okay, let's go back to the career and questions around that.
Sure.
So you've worked on a lot of projects in your 10 plus years working in the industry. If you would have to pick one that represents you as a creative leader the best, something that you would put like your fingerprint on, like that's me, or something that you look back to and be like, yeah, I did that.
I think was when you first said it represents you as a creative leader.
Mm-hmm.
I think those conditions are actually different than what I would say would be my best, or what I would feel like is one of my favorite creative projects, right?
Good point. True.
I've been a creative director for it. For a creative leader, I think the judge is still out. Like, I made note that I'm going through a season of change right now for myself in being this level of creative leader, right? And not necessarily how that relation is to work, but how that relation is to my leads, to the people that I'm working with, my peer sets, right? Managing up and all that other jazz, right? Like all of that has kind of like shifted for me. So I would actually keep and have different rigor for my thinking on that. And that's open right now. I don't think I have a project where I can stand to be all like, oh, I feel like I'm the type of creative leader that I would want to follow, that I would be inspired by, that I would felt like it was great to work with them. Like, I think I need to figure that out for myself. And like, I'm in the era of like trying to mold at that moment in time. When I think of like a project for which I was a creative lead for, but I didn't have like people underneath me, I was a part of the team and kind of facilitating the creative. There's two that come to mind. One is a project that never ever shipped, but it was so fucking dope and it was so really cool. It was a music-based project. It was like a music influencer-based project with a live event attached to it with some like game, some game marketing to go along with it. And it was a big thing. Like, it was a big thing that we were putting together. It took us like more than our usual 3 months, to kind of like get something out. We worked with really cool people, and it never saw the light of day. And
was that frag?
What did you say? It was called Fragmental.
Yeah, Fragmental. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's a project that always looms over me. I didn't know if I told you that or not, or if I wrote it down or not. Whatchamacallit. And so that was like a really big, it hit on all the things that we thought as a group, that we loved as, creatives, and that we would think would be really cool for players and was like cool for ourselves to kind of like figure out how to do. And we thought it was just really interesting. Like the entire strategy we thought was kind of like interesting in some level. So that's always going to be something that I'm just like, pour one out for the dead homie. And then probably my ergot little cinematic. It's just a little small thing, but getting to work on my beloved, my literal favorite husband in the universe is always going to be an honor that, some people allowed me in the space, and to be as fanatical I am about that particular champion and get to make something was really cool. And I always remember that very fondly.
But losing like such a big project, I know the feeling, been there, done it, but losing such a big project like just before kind of it was supposed to release. Well, what did that teach you? What was the main thing because that can either break a person or make a person. In my opinion, I've seen both happen.
I'm sorry. I was like, what did that teacher? It taught me not to get on the wrong side of the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? It taught me maybe everything is not going to ship. That was the first project that never shipped for me. Like that was a crazy thing where I'm all like, oh, I've never been and worked on something that got to completion, right? And like it never made it out. That was a big shocker. And kind of like I have a friend who talks about having like mini funerals for things, right? As you kind of get older, I had to figure out how to have a mini funeral for that and like kind of continue on. Like basically be all like, hey, we got to keep this cute. You know what I'm saying? We can't, be railing against the machine and going like super crazy. Like we can have feels over it, but we gotta lock in. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta check it to the game, and we gotta just like keep on pushing. And hopefully we get another opportunity that potentially could, net us some of that like thing that we kind of liked. I don't know. I actually don't think I've actually thought about that super hard of being all like, what did I learn like deeply? That
just kept it pushing.
I'm a very shallow person. She has no thoughts and feelings on anything that happens in her life.
It could also be self-protection. I mean, especially when you're creative and you put your creative energy, your passion, your heart, and your blood, sweat, and tears in a project that gets killed. I mean, that can be pretty devastating. So I can't speak for you, but the fact that you didn't really think about it is okay. You kept pushing.
Yeah, I also think that sometimes it doesn't service you to overtly hold on to things, right? If anything, it can work against you if you can't find your way through like quickly, or through the time for which people think you have to bring it up to blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Like I think there is just do that on your spare time, but you got to come back and like lock in, and you got to figure it out, right? Because you want to be able to have another shot, right? Like if that's where I'm all like, okay, I have a mark against me, now I got to figure out how I get to rebuild or have another, like put myself back into that kind of position to be all like, oh, she might have like fumbled here, but we can trust that she has like this, right? And we can kind of continue to kind of keep her, moving in the gaze, right? So there is a resolution to where you're gonna have to like, dust it off and just go like, it's cool, shit happens.
Dust yourself off and try again, indeed.
Exactly. R.I.P. Alita.
I mean, you said that community helped you survive some of the hardest moments or seasons of your career. So what did that support look like in real terms? Because a lot of people think that community is your helper, but I mean, you've been through it. How did they show up for you?
Yeah, man, I think it's interesting because that community I'm still very active with, even to this day, and I don't even work there anymore. This kind of just proves the type of people and the type of characters you have. And it's not because people are like, oh, I'm going to go talk to somebody for you or blah, blah, blah. It's literally just having like a shoulder, a safe space, someone who understands remotely what you're doing, who has a pulse on like your time, right? So it's not like I have to spin you up on all the things and why this is important. Like you've been tracking with me this entire time, right? And I think for me, having someone like at least one person who you have the ability and who's like been keeping track with you, who's with you, you go to lunches with and all that other jazz, like it's nice to have that because it acts as a diffuser. It also acts as like a mirror back to you in some type of way. Like it also is like, hey girl, get it together. It sucks, get it together. Like it's things where it's all like, here, put some water on your face and like, let's get back in the game, right? Like they can help, like it's nice where it's like, you can help to plot out like what you have to do or what went wrong here and all that other jazz, right? And also reciprocatory, right? I find myself, which is like, I think it's important, and also like being a mentor myself to other folks, right? And being able to like be a sounding board for people to talk, and then for me to listen and for me to understand what it is do you want? Do you want me to like soothe you, or do you want a way to get in, and how do we get you in, right? Where do you need to, who do you need to connect with, right? And I think that community noir was super, super impactful, still super impactful to this day. I mean, most of my homies that no longer work there, I still hang out with, as we are now alumni, of that ERG, and it's, it's just cool. It's delightful to just still have those connections, and even though we work at different companies, we talk about those companies and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's still like a really nice safe space to kind of like vent and be seen, and then also kiki, because you can't have any of that without a good laugh.
To that, amen to that. I mean, speaking on ERGs and representation, I mean, you describe representation as simply continuing to show up in spaces where people may not expect you. Why is staying in the room sometimes more powerful than making a grand statement, in your opinion?
I think it's because of just that. Like when you asked that question, I was like, I don't know if I even have like an answer to that, right? I think it is just us literally keeping our jobs, and not keeping our jobs being like we keeping our jobs, we're hugging, like it's because we're doing the job, we are showing up and we're being in the spaces. So there's always it always feels as though when you see someone like yourself somewhere, you're all like, oh, nice, like cool, the burden's like really off on the situation. I have like a home base, right? And I think that's why it's important for us to kind of like, instead of being on like, how do I get to the table? It's more so like for all of us who are there in some levels or looking at it in some levels through those journeys, it's just us continuing to be there, right? Continuing to show up, continuing to be ourselves and carving out our own little things and just being understanding that you're going to carve your own way, which is great, but you know that we're carving together, right? Like, and we're here.
It's a very important statement to show that you're not alone in that journey, that there's people that are fighting the same fights, going through the same things, and that you have that shoulder, that you have that sparring partner, that you have that different perspective.
Oh yeah, there may not be a lot of us, but we are there on all points in time on this ride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you just got to play somewhere. You can
I mean, honestly, when I first started like Game Pros, like back in 2019, I mean, I felt that lonely feeling, like I didn't have that community, especially like being European based. It's like are there even people out there that look like me in the industry that are doing things? But the more that I've been hosting these sessions, the more I find out that yes, there are a lot. There's more out there of us than I thought there were that are doing amazing things. For example, REL, I mean, I didn't know you before Mia introduced us, and I didn't know about the legend that was you. And when I asked around to some people, they were like, "Oh no, don't talk to her." No, but it's like, it's great. It's great to see this. It's great to see and now get introduced to all these amazing profiles like yourself that are like functioning on the top level of whatever that they are doing. And I think that's, for me, that is representation. It's like people like yourself. I mean, I hope that there will be people watching, like young girls or guys that see themselves in you, be like, oh, if she can do it, maybe so can I. And I think that's why it's so important that you show up in the room, indeed that you keep your job. You don't need to have that grand statement, but indeed that you just keep on doing the work, keep on being consistent, and through that create that body of work that you now have that kind of opens the doors for you to now do whatever you want to do, basically.
Yeah.
At least that's my humble little opinion thingy.
It's a very nice opinion, and you're very complimentary, which is makes me feel slightly insecure. But I do think it is imperative for us to continue to do work, if we like it. I'm not going to tell people to force themselves to stay in places. They're all like, no,
like, just keep on.
Like, I was like, okay, great, But for us who still love this, who want to do those things, right? Like continuing to push through, find our way through for our own selves, right? And as we continue to just exist, as you've said, right? Mm-hmm. Anyone who is coming in is not lost. They have a map and they can choose to use that map, or they can choose to do their own thing, right? But as more people start to file in, you start to see different roads, you start to see different takes, different flavors, right? And that's where you get optionality. That's where you get more people in the take. Like it just becomes a cyclical thing, right? So we all just kind of have to keep to it. It's hard sometimes, it's hard. But if we like it and find our way through, let's just continue to do it.
And I think that's why it's so important to share stories like your own, with the people watching. Yeah, it's important because back in the days there was no map. There was just us trying to figure it out. And sure, I'm not saying there was no map at all, but nowadays the access is so much easier to reach out to me or to you on whatever platforms you're active on, and be inspired through that. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm building this platform, is to to archive these stories so that in 5, 10, 20, 100 years, people can look back and be like, oh, if she can do it, or if he can do it, so can I.
Hell yeah, definitely. And actually, I really enjoyed this conversation because,
well, thank God.
I did, because I think there was just something in thinking about how I got here and, the mix of the music or whatever, that reflection moment for me. I was like, oh, once you get past a moment for so long, right? Like, since you kind of forget, like, oh, maybe what that mud felt like, what it was to like be down there, right? And I'm not saying I'm not meaning that to mean I'm far off and doing blah blah blah. No, I'm just saying, like, when you
claim it,
you forget that impact, and it was interesting to kind of feel that again and be all like, oh yeah, no, yeah,
you did that. No, but it's important to have moments every now and then just to look back, because I have that actually whenever I have these conversations, but also in general, I take a moment and just be like, what would like teenage Leon thought about where I am now? The fact, for example, I have to go to Paris on Monday, that kind of stuff. Like, I would have been like, oh my God, little Leon, like, oh shit, I think I'm traveling all over the world to make people play video games. Like, and that's why it's important also for ourselves to have this moment, to live in the moment and realize where we are, like to realize what we're doing, and that what we're doing is, I'd say, special. We're not saving the world, but it's pretty fucking cool that we work in video games. In my opinion,
we are not carrying it by any stretch of the word. So like, this is all play. We should, but it's great play at the end of the day.
Yeah. I think we're a little bit over time, so I want to be respectful of your time. One final question. All the millions of talented and ambitious young people or old people watching and questioning whether they belong or still belong in this industry, what would you like them to take away from your wise words?
No wise words. Yes, you belong. Like, if you think you belong, you have a perspective on something, then sure, why not? Like, what makes my perspective better than anybody else's? What makes your perspective better than anybody else's? Show us. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring it to the mat. So yeah, don't ever not think that you can't be up in this industry. Of course. Also, there's just too much content out there anyway. I'm gonna stop. I was gonna get a side tangent on that one.
I think, no, please bring it.
No. My side tangent on how much there's just too much content out there. So no one needs to make a lick of anything new these days. There's just so much shit out there. So if you got something to say and you think it's not worth that you're fighting to get into it, then maybe do it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, it's worth at the end of the day, because there's already just so much shit out there.
Yeah, 100%. Well, REL, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your story. I had so many more questions that I wanted to get into. I only got into like half part of your career. You might have to come back again so we can dive deeper into also what is next. And then maybe like as a final question, what is something that you're working on now that kind of is aiming towards the future that is making you super excited about the future? If you can share, of course. I don't want you to burn any bridges.
No, I don't think burning any bridges. Like, I'm currently working on an unreleased game right now, and I'm working on the dev side as a creative director versus what I did beforehand, which was being on marketing, right? So this is new. It's interesting. A lot of transferable skills, because creative direction is just basically servicing creative through any medium, right? But when trying to figure out how to do it for a game, how to assist in that process is something interesting, and also trying to figure out what my shade of leadership is in that too is something that I'm working through right now. So I'm very curious to see how I get on the other side of this this moment in time, and hopefully it's good.
It will be good, for sure. It will be good. That's like that's the goal. Good, whatever good might be.
Yeah, whatever good might be.
Final question.
Okay.
It's a random, it's a little bit out there question, but let's say we're 5 years in the future. It's 2030, 2031 at that time, and you would have to describe this current phase of your life to someone that doesn't know you. How would you describe that current situation? Would it be an image? Would it be a logo? Would it be a character? How would you design that specific visual that would describe your current moment in life?
It would probably have to be a GIF because I love a Giphy.
Oh, GIFs are great. Yes.
It would have to be a Giphy, and it would have to be a Pepe Giphy in some type of way. My favorite one is the guy with the gun, who's like pointing it at you, but he has like sweat teardrops like coming off. And I think that is definitively my favorite one. It gets a little risky when you're doing it in corporate because you got to be very well placed with it. But I think that would be a very good moniker for where I'm sitting right now. What I would give for this moment in time.
I love that. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for your time. I'm going to release you back into the world to be awesome or keep on being awesome. I'm sure we will catch up again. And once again, for me, also thank you for the introduction. And for the people watching, thank you for watching. Thank you for your questions. We'll be back again next week with more. Who's next week's guest? Colin Andrew Grant, composer. Yeah, music composer for video games. So yeah. But once again, Rel, thank you.
Anytime.
You're appreciated.
I appreciate you, brother.
Cool.
Bye, all.
Bye.